All right, well, day off darts, but back tomorrow on New Year's Day. Looking forward to the quarterfinal matchups. But before we get the quarterfinal matchups, let's talk about how I did yesterday or on Friday. Hit the 3-team parlay. That's big. Now I'm enjoying it. Very nice. That was a 3-team parlay that nearly played 4 times my money. So very, very pleased with that. It was Vandenberg over Hybrex, Clemens over Suter, and Smith over Cullen, which all hit. They'll hit in the morning session. Fantastic. And I do have a bet for today, but or for tomorrow, but I wouldn't say I'm as excited about it as I was about that one. But overall for me in the tournament, or in this tournament, I'm 75% on picking the winners, 66 for 88. It's been a pretty successful tournament for me in betting as well, especially with that 3-team parlay. Now I'm looking pretty good. Before we get into the quarterfinals, let's take a look at the games on Friday. Dimitri Vandenberg, Kim Hybrex, nothing to talk about there. There's 2 Belgian players. In reality, there was only one. And as I said, every tournament's better when Kim Hybrex is out of the tournament, so he's out of the tournament, which is fantastic. And Dimitri Vandenberg goes on to the quarterfinals. Gabriel Clemens, Alan Suter, I thought was a decent game. Clemens was definitely the better player, but Suter takes out that, or takes the 6th set there, and I think there's trouble brewing for, or sorry, the 5th set. It'll be trouble brewing for Clemens. He hasn't really been put on, well, I mean, Williams did put him under a little pressure, but you know, he did come back in that one, to be honest. But again, I think Clemens, I think Suter wins that set. It's a whole different ball game we're talking about, but Clemens won. And then Michael Smith just dominated Joe Cullen. Fantastic performance, showed his class. And to me, again, I look at Joe Cullen as a top 16 player for sure. I just don't think he's an elite player. He just got walked off the board on that one. The evening session, afternoon session, North America was more interesting. Dobie beat Rob Cross. I picked Cross, but again, it really came down to the doubles there, and Dobie got over the line. MVG, Dirk Van Duijvenbode. So I'm going to step on this one a little bit. I've heard a lot of talk, Premier League, of Dirk Van Duijvenbode getting the Premier League, and I get why you think he should be in the Premier League. He's got 180 ability, he's got a personality to boot, and he's got the whatever the move. The fact is, he should be nowhere near the Premier League. He's not even in, he would be not even in my top 15 if I were to pick, and there's a couple reasons why. He was beat before he went on that stage. I don't get it. He thinks that Michael Van Gerwen is some kind of god. Like, he was beat before he entered that game. The minute Michael Van Gerwen hit a big score, he's sitting on the back of the stage doing this. What do you think Michael Van Gerwen was going to do? He was going to go in and throw 50s? You hit more 180s than anyone else. He just has no confidence. If they put him in the Premier League, he's going to lose every single game. Every time he plays Michael Van Gerwen, he's going to lose. I don't understand this. He doesn't have the right mindset. He doesn't have a winning attitude. You know, like I hear some of these players that come in, like, you listen to Bunting, bring it on. I want Michael Smith, bring it on. Not, oh, well, if I play my A game and he plays his A game, he beats me. What kind of attitude is that? All right, so Dirk Van Duijvenbode just took his Premier League hopes and just threw him out the window. And again, he was in the match. It just never felt like he wanted to win it, to be honest. It was a really weird game to watch. But Michael Van Gerwen won, and then Stephen Bunting beat Luke Humphries. Luke Humphries looked off. He's looked off all tournament. Again, maybe it's just... I did see an article that maybe he was feeling sick or fatigued, which, okay, it makes sense. But the variation in his shots, a 180 followed by a 41, followed by 100, followed by a 58. Like, just high variation. Bunting has looked fantastic. 180s to boot. And it's been tested, right? So he's had Chisnell. He beat Chisnell, who was in fine form. Luke Humphries, who was a little bit off, but a good player. Bunting's having a tournament for himself, that's for sure. So let's get into the quarterfinals, and then I'll go through my bet. First game up, Johnny Clayton, Dimitri Vandenberg. Again, I question. I know you got to put Price and MVG in the afternoon set or the night session, so I get that piece of it. And to be honest with you, the Price Clemens is probably the worst matchup on the card, but God, I think the Clayton, Dimitri Vandenberg is a beaut. For me, that means on New Year's Eve, I got to get up New Year's Day, 7:30 in the morning here, which I'm going to do. Make sure I have a coffee with a little bit extra Bailey's in it for sure. But I'll definitely be able to watch it. But I think this is going to be a beauty game. Yeah, you take a look at the odds, and this is where I'm struggling. I like Clayton, so I'm going to pick Johnny Clayton. But I look at the odds, and I go, Dimitri's got a bite on this one. He's getting some pretty long odds. I think he's got a shot. Why I lean towards Johnny Clayton in this one is Johnny Clayton's been tested. He's been tested by Josh Rock. And Brandon Dolan was not an easy game. Every one of them went down to the final leg in the set, and Clayton stepped it up. I think Clayton's got to be buzzing with a lot of confidence right now. Dimitri's never been tested. He's gone through Lawrence Logan, Krzysztof Rutowski, who threw a little bit at him but couldn't hit a double, and he got nothing sent against him. Now, it's not his fault, but he hasn't been tested yet. There is no way he's not getting tested in this game. He will be tested. His change of darts, again, I wouldn't be shocked. So don't let me sit here and say I think Johnny Clayton's got this in a walk. I don't think he has it in a walk. I think Dimitri Vandenberg can show up and beat him. I'm just leaning towards Clayton. Now, I don't like Clayton's odds. I will talk about my bets a little bit later. I was expecting to see maybe even odds, -110, -110, maybe a little favorite towards Johnny Clayton, but you know, it's +137 for Dimitri Vandenberg. So if you like Dimitri Vandenberg, that's a nice price to take. But I'm just going to go Johnny Clayton this one and win 5-4. Michael Smith, Stephen Bunting. If you would have told me at the beginning of this, the outset of the tournament, that Michael Smith's playing Stephen Bunting in the quarterfinal, I would say, well, I guess Michael Smith's in the semifinals in a walk. But the way that the performance is, I expected him to be playing Humphreys or Chisnell, I'll be honest. And Bunting's beat both of them. I just think what I saw from Michael Smith in that last game was, okay, I got my head on straight now. I'm willing to go. And I mean, Joe Cullen's could be argued to be a better player than Stephen Bunting, although I think form-wise, Bunting has shown some great form. This is going to be a much closer game than expected, but I still like Michael Smith. Michael Smith's got class. I'm expecting a Michael to win this tournament, and I think both Michaels will be in the final, but so I like Smith to win this one. I'm going to take him to win 5-3, but I think it's going to be a fantastic game, to be honest, and I didn't expect it. Next game up is going to be your dog of the day, Price against Clemens. To be honest with you, of the 8 players, and I saw some stats, the worst average so far is Price. Again, I will say this, Price hasn't been tested. Luke Woodhouse won a set, so what? Raymond Van Barneveld didn't bring anything back at him. He hasn't been tested, and he has not played well. It's a C game that he's throwing at them right now. Clemens, the only thing I'm really worried about Clemens, first time in this kind of final, and I don't like how Clemens usually reacts on stage. I think I would like Clemens up against, you know, someone else other than Price. But Price is going to growl, he's going to yell, he's going to intimidate, and Clemens just seems to be one of those ones that gets affected by it. I'd love to see Clemens win this one. I'll be honest with you, I'd love to see it. And if you look at the form so far, Clemens has better form than Price coming in, and I would say at least Clemens has been tested. Price has not been tested. The odds for Clemens are +350. I mean, that's, you know, I'm thinking if I hit my 2-team parlay in the morning session, I might go looking at Clemens. But again, it's great odds, but for me, I don't see a way past Price not winning this game. He's going to win this game. And I expect him to win 5-2. The next game up, MVG Chris Dobie. Again, could be an interesting game. I know that Dobie's beat him, but MVG for the most part well, you know, he's beating everybody. I mean, his average, he's over 100 average for the tournament. The one thing you notice with MVG a little bit is he misses doubles at crucial times. And that's what Rob Cross did against Dobie, and he did take it out. I think the scoring is going to be a little bit too much. I think the moment might be a little bit too much, although Dobie's really handled it well. Again, Dobie's getting +450 odds. I think that's pretty high. So if you like Dobie, take a crack at him, but it just feels like it's MVG's tournament. Feels like an MVG Michael Smith final to me, so I'm going to take MVG to win this one 5-3. My bet, I'm doing a 2-team parlay, and it's going to be Johnny Clayton and Michael Smith, so it'll be on that morning session for Canada, I guess afternoon session in the UK, and it's paying just double. I'm doubling my money. So it's not great, but I feel like I just wanted to throw some money in there after winning on the previous day. And to be honest with you, I'm very confident on Michael Smith, and Johnny Clayton, I just feel he's the better player than Dimitri Vandenberg right now. And of course, you're talking Premier League now. I think you can say sayonara to Dirk van Dijvenbode or the Premier League, as I discussed before. Yeah, I think you can say goodbye to Rob Cross after that performance. There's some spots that are open there. Ross Smith probably missed out on his spot. There's some spots open. Johnny Clayton, Dimitri Vandenberg. That's a big game for them for Premier League. I think Bunting has beat Smith. You got to look at him. Whoever gets to that final is going to be in the Premier League. So any one of these 8, Doby, Clemens, I mean, they could technically still get into the Premier League, which is crazy. You win this tournament, you're basically in. Even with the ranking, you go up so high. But anyways, I hope everyone enjoys the darts. Before that, as we're on the last day of 2022, I want to wish everyone the best for 2023. You'll see I have my Leaf gear on. Trust me, everybody. In the next 2 days, I've got a Leaf video. It's going to be a long video, actually, where I'm going to go on about how the Leafs have obviously been way better than I last posted the video. Hopefully they beat Colorado today. They had a bad game against Arizona, but in the meantime, that'll be a different video. 2023 coming. Anyone that's a Leaf fan, I wish you all the best for 2023. But as a Leaf fan, I'll give you this. I hope it's more Eddie Shack than Todd Gill. My Leaf fans will know what that means. Happy New Year's, everyone. Enjoy the darts, and I'll give you my picks for the semifinals tomorrow.